Are you sure you're treating your little guy well? Because the truth is, just a few small habits can make it weak, lose its perfect appearance, and even disobey forever. What's even scarier is that most men accidentally destroy their little guy every day without even realizing it. So the question is, are you repeating those dangerous mistakes? In this video, you'll know exactly what you should never do to your little guy: improper oral hygiene. Dear gentlemen, the first truth I'm going to mention will shock many people. If you don't brush your teeth properly, not only will your breath be bad, but your penis can also weaken, shrink, and gradually lose its inherent strength. It may sound strange, but science has proven the connection is undeniable. In a 2012 study, researchers found a strong correlation between men who did not take care of their oral health and having a much higher rate of erectile dysfunction than men with healthy teeth. Why are seemingly unrelated things, teeth and penis, so closely linked? The answer lies in bacteria and inflammation. Because bacteria in the mouth not only stay in the oral cavity, but they can spread through the bloodstream throughout the body, causing inflammation and damaging the vascular system. As we all know, the ability to get an erection depends mainly on blood vessels and blood circulation. Once the vascular system is attacked, the penis will also weaken, have difficulty getting an erection, and even become smaller than before. And for the penis to function well, the blood vessels must be healthy and the blood circulation must be smooth. Once the vascular system is damaged, the blood flow is no longer abundant, the ability to get an erection weakens, the maintenance time is shortened, and even the size becomes more modest than before. That means just by being too lazy to use dental floss, just by hastily brushing your teeth every morning, you are unintentionally harming your own masculinity. So what's the solution? It's simple. Make oral hygiene part of maintaining your sexual health. Every day, floss your teeth, then brush for at least 2 minutes with a soft bristled toothbrush, and finally rinse your mouth with mouthwash. It only takes a few minutes, but the payoff is a confident smile and a healthy, strong penis. You see, a seemingly small habit like brushing your teeth incorrectly can silently harm men's health. But this is just the beginning. What's even more frightening is, not only your teeth, but even the way you sit at work every day can silently destroy your little guy. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's the second mistake that many gentlemen are making: working in the wrong place. When it comes to working from home, there are two types of men: those who sit formally at their desks, and those who lounge around on the bed or sofa with their laptops on their laps. It sounds harmless, but in fact, this habit silently destroys male strength. Because when placing a laptop directly on the lap, the heat from the device will continuously radiate, increasing the temperature in the groin area. And science has proven, just increasing the testicles by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius compared to normal levels, the quantity and quality of sperm will decrease significantly. A study by New York University showed that men who regularly put their laptops on their laps for 1 hour continuously had a high temperature in their groin area that directly affected their ability to produce sperm. Not only that, high temperatures also weaken Leydig cells, where testosterone is produced. When testosterone decreases, the consequences are decreased desire, difficulty in erection, and even the penis gradually loses its inherent vitality. Additionally, consider this. If you work with a laptop on your lap for just 2 hours daily, you're exposing your reproductive organs to damaging heat for over 700 hours per year. That's nearly a month of continuous damage. The advice for you is to always put your laptop on the desk instead of on your lap. If you are forced to work on the bed or sofa, put a pillow or a stand between the computer and your private area to minimize heat transfer. In addition, make a habit of standing up and moving every 45-60 minutes. both to help blood circulation better and protect your little guy from paralysis due to sitting for a long time. Hearing this, I think many people are startled by the seemingly harmless habits that they often do every day. But that's not all, because even what you wear, from your pants to your seemingly harmless underwear, can be suffocating your little guy every day. That's the third mistake. Wear tight clothes and wear underwear overnight. Imagine a typical morning. You wake up, get dressed, put on your favorite underwear, maybe briefs, maybe tight shorts, and think they're comfortable. But the truth is, this habit is silently weakening your male power. A famous Harvard study followed more than 650 men, and the results were shocking. Those who wore tight underwear had 25% lower sperm counts, 17% lower sperm concentrations, and 33% lower sperm motility than those who chose loose-fitting shorts. That is, just because of a pair of tight underwear, fertility, vitality, and manhood are all directly affected, because tight underwear increases the temperature around the testicles. They heat up, and sperm production works best when the temperature is slightly cooler than your body temperature. The reason is very simple. The testicles need to be slightly cooler than body temperature to produce healthy sperm, which is why your penis is located on the outside. When you wear underwear that is too tight, especially made of stuffy material, the temperature of the genital area will increase, disrupting the production of testosterone and sperm. The material of your underwear is also a serious problem. Many synthetic fabrics contain dyes or toxic chemicals that can be released into your skin, especially when you sweat and your pores are open. They can disrupt your hormones, reduce your sperm quality, and even your libido. Your skin is your body's largest organ, and once these chemicals penetrate your skin, so what is the solution? During the day, choose loose, breathable underwear, preferably made of cotton or natural bamboo fiber. At night, never wear underwear to bed. Sleeping with your little guy tight means you are forcing your reproductive organs to work in a hot, stuffy environment for 7 to 8 hours. Instead, let your body be free and airy, which will help increase blood circulation, which is good for your physiological health and sleep quality. Just one small change, ditching the tight underwear habit and sleeping freely, can make a big difference to your reproductive health and performance. There is another mistake that is much more common, and almost every gentleman is subjective. That is it. Bad hygiene habits. Improper cleaning. Surely everyone knows that keeping the penis clean is extremely necessary, but in reality, many men are cleaning it the wrong way. It sounds trivial, but the consequences are no less serious. Poor hygiene can cause a buildup of smegma, an oily, malodorous, and irritating substance that is known to occur below the foreskin. If smegma builds up, it can cause inflammation to the adjacent skin. This can be uncomfortable and can cause balanitis, a condition where the head of the penis becomes red and inflamed. Especially for men with foreskin, the most common mistake is do not pull the foreskin down when cleaning. They often ignore or only wash the outside. As a result, dirt, sebum, and bacteria accumulate underneath, leading to a condition balanitis, also known as inflammation of the foreskin. Symptoms are usually redness, swelling, itching, discharge with an unpleasant odor, directly affecting sexual activity and physiological health. A study on International Journal of Urology has shown that men with long, narrow foreskin but do not clean it thoroughly every day have a risk of infection and penile disease 2 to 3 times higher than those who clean properly. More worryingly, although penile cancer is a rare disease, many clinical reports show that there are cases of late detection because the patient cannot retract the foreskin for examination, causing the damage to become serious. So, make sure you always take the time, pull back your foreskin, clean underneath there. If you can't pull it back, then that's a problem, right? Because even though penile cancer is extremely rare, There are cases where people will develop cancer on their penis, and because they can never pull their foreskin back, they can't see it. So I always tell people, make sure you can pull your foreskin back. If you can't, make sure you talk to your doctor. Sometimes it can be reversed with a cream or a little device. Or you can get a circumcision. Likewise, you should avoid harsh cleansing, as sometimes people will use scented or strong soaps that can actually cause irritation. The skin on your penis is not meant to be washed harshly, but it's meant to be cleaned. Let the soapy water run through it. Make sure there's no residue left and keep it clean. In particular, do not rub too hard. Do not wash too hard, because you will irritate the skin and may even cause skin tears. Here's a personal hygiene schedule that protects your health. Clean thoroughly every day during your shower. Always clean before and after sexual activity, and perform a weekly self-examination to check for any changes in appearance, lumps, or unusual discharge. If improper hygiene can harm your penis from the outside, the next mistake is even more frightening because it comes from modern technological habits that almost everyone makes. The cell phone is always in the pocket, using the phone too much and keeping it in your pocket. Right now, as you're watching this video, there's probably a device in your pocket that's emitting electromagnetic radiation directly toward your reproductive organs. Your smartphone, that essential piece of technology you carry everywhere, might be slowly sterilizing you. This isn't science fiction or conspiracy theory. This is documented medical research that should concern every man who wants to maintain his fertility and sexual health. Your phone emits about 2.45 GHz radiation. It was initially believed that in small doses, the radiation was harmless. However, long-term studies have proven otherwise. In these studies, they found that the longer your sperm is exposed to radiation, the electromagnetic waves, EMF, from phones can cause oxidative stress, damaging sperm DNA, making them weaker and less mobile. This means that the longer you use your phone or the closer it is to your genitals, the higher the chance that you will not be able to have children later. An analysis on Journal of Andrology 2011 showed that men who are frequently exposed to cell phones have sperm motility was 8% lower and sperm survival was 9% lower compared with the low exposure group. A general rule that I always recommend is to keep your phone away from your groin area as much as possible. Here are 3 rules to follow. Instead of keeping your phone in your pocket, keep it on your desk at work. Keep your phone in your backpack when walking to school. If you don't have these 3 things, put your phone in your back pocket when walking. We have talked about phones, something that is always associated with modern life and can silently harm the little guy. But when it comes to long-term attachment to physiological health, it would be a mistake to ignore a familiar but extremely important issue: sex and masturbation. Safe and controlled sex. There is nothing more attractive than a safe love affair, where you are completely comfortable because you do not worry about sexually transmitted diseases or unwanted pregnancies. When your mind is relieved, you can fully enjoy and maintain a sustainable erection. And this safety factor, although seemingly simple, greatly determines the quality of your sex life. First, always put safety first. There are many ways to have safe sex. There are many different types of condoms. Condoms not only help prevent pregnancy but also act as a shield to protect you from HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes, and many other sexually transmitted diseases. You have to experiment to find out which type is right for you. The thinnest type, the type that gives the best feeling. Second, control in sex. So why control? Because anything can happen, like a broken penis. So if you're having very vigorous sex, and your penis is erect, but it bends suddenly, it's very likely that you've hit your pubic bone, not accidentally hit your vagina, then you've probably broken your penis. When this happens, The outer lining of the erectile tissue, called the tunica albuginea, tears and needs to be stitched. This is an urgent surgical emergency because without timely surgery, the risk of permanent erectile dysfunction is very high. A study in the Journal of Urology found that up to 50% of men who have had a broken penis but did not receive timely treatment will develop chronic erectile dysfunction. So always stay in control. Ideally, hold your partner's hips, adjust the speed and angle, and don't forget to use lubricant to reduce friction. Besides, another sexual tendency can also be potentially dangerous if you are subjective. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that anal sex is taboo. You can enjoy it if you do it properly and safely. But let me explain in detail the dangers to the penis. The tissues inside the rectum and anus are extremely thin and sensitive, much thinner than the vagina, and it doesn't produce natural lubrication and is full of tiny blood vessels. So without a condom, without proper lubrication, friction will create tiny tears that you can't feel, and these tiny tears open the door to infection. In fact, unprotected anal sex is about 17 times more likely to transmit HIV than unprotected vaginal sex. And all sexually transmitted diseases, herpes, all of those things can be transmitted through unprotected anal sex. Another issue is masturbation. In fact, moderate masturbation is perfectly normal. In fact, many studies have shown that it has health benefits. It helps relieve stress, improves sleep, and maintains reproductive function. A study by Harvard Medical School once pointed out that men who ejaculate frequently may reduce their risk of prostate cancer. But when abused or dependent on porn, it immediately becomes a double-edged sword. Many studies have shown that men who masturbate too much, especially when accompanied by watching adult films, easily fall into a state of desensitization. This means that the little guy gradually gets used to the strong, unrealistic stimulation from movies, leading to difficulty getting excited and reaching orgasm during real sex. This is a form of erectile dysfunction due to psychology and habits. Not only that, masturbating too roughly or too many times a day can cause penile tissue damage, scratches, even blood clots and burning pain. And a report published in Journal of Urology shows that cases of penile fracture due to vigorous masturbation are not uncommon, and if not treated promptly, the risk of permanent erectile dysfunction is very high. More importantly, improper masturbation also leaves psychological consequences. Many people feel guilty, ashamed, lose confidence, and gradually withdraw, affecting their real relationship with their partner. By the way, I just released a new video about masturbation mistakes that cause erectile dysfunction. To learn what they are and really open up a natural path to recovery for men, click on the link I pinned in the comments below. Then come back and explore some more interesting things. Lifestyle. Every lifestyle choice you make either strengthens or weakens your sexual function. Unfortunately, modern life is filled with habits that systematically destroy male sexual health, often in ways that aren't obvious until the damage becomes severe. Surely you have heard of it. The drug will reduce the ability to have an erection, causing erectile dysfunction. But it doesn't stop there. The harmful effects of tobacco are much more terrible. Smokers have a high risk of bladder cancer, and this is one of the most dreaded cancers that urologists encounter. Treating bladder cancer often requires major surgery, removing the bladder, and completely changing the patient's life. Not only cigarettes, but alcohol and unhealthy lifestyles are also silent enemies of the penis. Studies have shown men who smoke are twice as likely to have erectile dysfunction as non-smokers. Drinking too much alcohol will reduce testosterone, cause testicular atrophy, and weaken erectile ability. What's scarier is this: erectile dysfunction isn't just a bedroom problem. it's also an early warning signs of heart disease. A large study found that over a period of 7 years, 14% of men with erectile dysfunction will experience a serious cardiovascular event, such as a heart attack or stroke. In other words, your penis health is a mirror of your heart health. Not only cigarettes or alcohol, but also wrongly eating are also the silent destroyers of male prowess. Eating too much sugar, fast food, fried foods, and saturated fats will clog blood vessels, reduce blood flow to the penis, and cause erectile dysfunction. This cause accounts for more than 70% of cases in middle-aged men. The habit of eating a lot of sugar and refined starch also leads to obesity and type 2 diabetes. According to the American Diabetes Association, men with diabetes are at twice the risk of erectile dysfunction 3 times and usually appears 10-15 years earlier than normal people. Not only that, eat too salty, high blood pressure, another culprit in weakening the penis. Even long-term use of blood pressure medications can reduce libido and interfere with erections. So if you stay healthy, your erections will stay healthy. That means eating healthy as well as boosting green vegetables, fresh fruits, nuts, and whole grains, rich in fiber and antioxidants, helps protect blood vessels. Eat a lot of fatty fish. Fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel contain omega-3, which is good for the heart and blood circulation. Use olive oil, nut butter, avocado instead of animal fat. Avoid smoking or excessive drug use, try to minimize your alcohol intake, and exercise regularly. Aerobic exercise, Kegel exercises, and resistance training are important for testosterone. So all of these are important, and I can't stress them enough. If you don't know where to start, take it one step at a time. Besides lifestyle, spirit is also a very important factor in maintaining an erection. But if you let yourself be overwhelmed by too much stress, all efforts will become meaningless. Excessive stress. We all know that a little stress in life is necessary. It helps us have the motivation to try. But when stress lasts too long, the body will suffer very serious consequences, and the penis is no exception. When you are stressed, your body secretes more cortisol, a stress hormone. High cortisol over a long period of time will testosterone inhibition, reduces libido, causes erectile dysfunction, and makes it difficult for you to maintain performance. Research published in the Mayo Clinic Journal of Research has shown that men with chronic stress are twice as likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction as those with less stress. Not only that, stress also affects the autonomic nervous system. When the nervous system is always in a state of alarm, blood will have difficulty flowing to the penis, making erection difficult and the maintenance time shorter. That is the reason why many men, despite being physically healthy, when facing pressure from work, finance, or family, find that their little guy is no longer obedient. Fortunately, stress is completely manageable if you take proper care of yourself. First, get enough sleep 7 to 8 hours every night, because quality sleep not only helps the body recover, but also rebalances the hormone testosterone, the key to male performance. Next, let's maintain regular exercise habits. It could be brisk walking, cycling, swimming, or hitting the gym. Studies have shown that exercise reduces the stress hormone cortisol while also stimulating the production of endorphins, the hormones that bring about feelings of happiness. Also, don't forget to relax your mind. Spend time on personal hobbies, meet friends, or try methods like meditation, deep breathing, all of which help clear your mind and reduce stress effectively. Besides, learn how to manage work properly. Don't let yourself get caught up in the cycle of stress, and forget that health and mental peace are the foundation for a happy life. Just start with small, simple but persistent steps, you will realize that not only will you be healthier, but your little guy will also be more energetic and in better shape. Dear sir, we have just discussed about things you should not do with your little guy, from improper hygiene, sitting in the wrong position, wearing clothes that are too tight, overusing the phone, lifestyle, mentality, to unsafe sex and masturbation. The scary thing is, these mistakes often come from very small habits, seemingly harmless, but over time, it silently erodes physiological health, takes away style, confidence, and even family happiness. But the good news is, everything can change if you start today. Remember, your penis is not only a symbol of your manhood, but also a mirror of whole body health. Keeping it healthy is also keeping your heart, spirit, and longevity sustainable. Are you ready to make these changes? Don't wait. If you have any questions or need more guidance on how to improve your diet, leave your answer in the comments below. Let's break the silence together, because you are not alone, and your story may help other men who feel the same way. My name is Dr. Laura. For over 25 years, I have dedicated my research and expertise to helping men and women over 60 regain their health and confidence. I am here for you. If this message resonates with you, please share it with others who need to hear it, because we are all aging, but we don't have to do it alone or in silence. If this video helped you understand your body better or made you feel less alone, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel for more science-based discussions about men's health and vitality.